I welcome you guys back. I welcome you guys back into my next course, which is course 211. Thank you very much. I've over 300 courses, although this is my other series, which is 211th course. In how to gain serenity, I need to understand that peacefulness is the way. I need to understand that those people have inside, I promise you those people can have peace. I promise you it's around this time of day, they understand that inside works. I need to understand to gain serenity today is to be in peace. I need to be in peace all day. I need to understand freedom. You have to be freedom all the time. You have to understand you have to always grow. You have to understand that each and every single time you do something special, you understand freedom. You understand peacefulness. You understand there's always a greater way to gain serenity. When you ask how to gain serenity, I mean how to is going to lead you. I need to understand that when you're asking questions, you ask with the how, you ask with the why, you ask with the when, you ask with the who, you ask with the where, you ask with the what. I realize, what are you today? I promise you, how are you today? I promise you, where are you today? I promise you, you have to be greater. You have to be greater, you have to be greater. I promise you, it's always, the question is, I'm better than yesterday. I should understand the question is also a statement. I should understand that those people who have serenity in life are the ones really pulling through. I promise you, they're the ones who have tranquility, which is serenity. I should understand that serenity means peace. And those people who have peace have bliss. I promise you, they have happiness. I promise you, they have more happiness than yesterday. I promise you, that's the whole point. I promise you, it's about growth skills today. I promise you, it's about making sure you're functional. You have to be more functional in your daily life. You understand there's always a greater way. I promise you, there's always a greater will that you can do today to help somebody in need of information. You have to give more information to have more information. I promise you, it's the only way that you can really learn fast and speed read every single day to make sure you're giving ideas, to make sure that you're a better person in the process, so you can understand what's going on in your life, so you can improve yourself every single day. It's about lifting yourself to understand that no matter what, even when you feel discouraged, you feel yourself lifting. You have to understand, you have to feel yourself to understand there's something greater in you that understands something of serenity, which is you. You have to understand, you have to call yourself serenity. You have to ask all the time about questions and what do you need today to succeed more. I'm rich or better means I'm blocking myself in a way I understand that there's something greater that you can do today to make sure you're always fit, and you're always encouraging people to do so. You're always encouraging someone to make sure that they're free, and that way you understand you're going to be free when you are lifted. You have to be a person who's lifting in grace. You have to be a type of person who understands that the theory of life is to be you in this moment. I promise you, that's the whole point of reality. And when I promise you, when you're a person who's in reality, you're going to be a person who understands this moment. I promise you, this moment is always that you can see it. You can understand to see what you can. Because when you see it, you can understand what that is. You can always see, you can never describe it, because to describe something is ego. You have to understand, you have to see what you are talking about. You have to understand that to see is to be in your feelings. And those people who are in their feelings are the ones who are going to grow much better than yesterday. I realize it's really about talk in a way that you will understand. I realize it's really read in a way that you can do. I realize that you have to do better and better. You have to understand you always have to improve one skill every single day. I realize that every single day you have to be better and better. And you have to understand that one vision means better than yesterday. You have to be that kind of person who understands serenity is becoming better than yesterday. I need you to understand that each and every single time you're doing something of freedom, you understand you're doing charity work on the street as well, and you're boosting your confidence, and you're also looking at the crowd, and you're making sure that your confidence is growing. Because you have to understand to keep changing your wording, you have to keep changing your communication skills, you have to keep looking better and feeling better, and also making sure you're looking inside, because nobody else outside of you is going to satisfy you. You have to understand it's really inside that works. Whereas what is inside matters. You have to lift, you have to inspire, you have to grow, you have to make sure you're a leader, and make sure always that you're looking better and better. Because that way you understand encouragement. You understand there's always something greater that you can do. You understand that you never judge people for how they look, because anybody can be more successful than you. I promise you, you have to always lift. You always have to make sure you're always lifting, and you'll never be jealous. I promise you, when you're lifting other people, you'll never be jealous of other people. I promise you, the ones who are jealous are the ones who are never lifting. You have to understand, the ones who are jealous are never growing. You have to understand, you have to always lift people, and you shall be lifted, and that way you'll be more successful, and you'll get more eyes on you either way. I promise you, that is how to live. You have to always grow together. You have to read together. You have to do everything together. That's much better than yesterday, and you have to be kinder throughout life. I promise you, that's the whole point of life. I promise you, the whole point of life is follow Jesus Christ. I promise you, that way you understand that you can go and be interested more and more in who He is, and you understand that He has the best habits in the world, and that's why I call Jesus Christ my mentor today. I realize that way when I follow Jesus Christ, I have more serenity. I understand Jesus Christ never had sex. I realize that when you're getting down about sex, you remember Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ never had sex with a woman. And you should understand that you go and respect everybody. You should understand that respect is in the heart. And you should respect yourself first, and then you will respect other people. And you should understand you have a better attitude every single day. You have something greater to give. You do something greater. And that way you understand there's always more freedom in you when you're looking inside for help. And you should understand you never look to the outside world, you look inside. You look at Jesus. You have to understand, you only go to Jesus for help, and you have to understand that since I go to Jesus for help, I'm more like Jesus every single day. I realize that no matter what, you need more mentors than Jesus. You need more and more. You have to understand, though, that Jesus is everything you ever need. I realize that every single day I relate everything with Jesus. I relate every single moment and every single thought that's ever been said and everything with Jesus Christ, because I'm always better. I'm always doing better. I'm always feeling better. I'm always doing something that's really going to improve. I always have to improve. I always make sure, no matter what, that each and every single time I lift, I'm making sure that my confidence is growing. And how do I do that? Making sure that I look at people in the eyes, and make sure that I project my emotions at them. I make sure my heart's looking at them. And that way I understand I always have a smile on my face. Whereas that way, I'm always growing, I'm always doing something. And when I'm in the heart, I'm happier. And that way you're going to be much more confident. And I realize today I'm much more powerful today because I've been doing 36 hours of content in front of people. Whereas each and every time you do 3 hours a day in front of people, you're going to get more confidence. Whereas now I'm more powerful. Whereas I'm 12 times more powerful than I was 11 days ago. Well, that's amazing. You have to be that kind of person. You have to understand there's always a way when you have a life. You have to understand you have a life today, you can prove it, you can make yourself greater today. You can do something really great today, I promise you. I promise you, there's always something great you can do. You have to understand, you have to be freedom today. You have to understand there's always freedom that you can do. You have to do freedom work. I promise you, the best way to live life is go the free way. I promise you, there's free Wi-Fi. I promise you, there's a free way you can grow. I promise you, there's a free way you can do anything. I promise you that this is for free. I promise you I do this for free because I'm a charity worker. I'm a person who works like Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ never worked for money. I work for free too. You have to understand you have to be more and more and more throughout life. You always have to do more and more and more throughout time. I promise you that's what it's all about. You should understand it's about Jesus Christ today. And you should understand it's about you today also in Jesus Christ's name. And you should understand that you go and lift. You lift the crowd, make sure no matter what you're confident, make sure you have vibrance, you have to be strong, you have to be a vital person inside to make sure you're greater. You have to be great all the time. You have to make sure you're always greater. Because no matter what, you have to have a leadership mindset. You have to understand you have to be a leader, you have to grow every single day. You have to do something greater and greater. I mean, you never follow the crowd, you follow Jesus Christ. I promise you that way you understand that you never follow the crowd, because the crowd has average opinions. And you should understand that the crowd will always make you feel down. And you should go follow the people who are growing you every single day. I promise you those people are never the crowd. I promise you they're in the spotlight. I promise you those people who can be in the spotlight are the ones who are confident more to do so. I promise you it's about confidence. I promise you those people who have a lot of attention are confident. I promise you that you need to build your confidence to get more into the spotlight. Because here I am in the spotlight and I'm building my confidence. I hope that you see. Because it's about seeing and it's never about knowing in life. I never need you to know anything. I need you to see with your eyes. You should understand, to see with your eyes is to also see with your heart. You should understand you can see life itself and who I am with the heart. You can see me and how powerful I am. You can see who I am. Whereas I see everybody with my heart, because I never know you guys, whereas I can see you though. I can see who you are. Whereas I never have to describe it, I can see you already. Whereas each and every single time I understand who I am, whereas I grow, I'm always foundational. And that way I'm always lifting, because I'm growing one way or another. I'm doing something that's really going to help me. I'm doing something that's really powerful. I'm doing something in front of a crowd. I'm doing something that's really in the spotlight. I can see what to say because I can see people's information over here. Whereas that each and every person, I can see who they are by how they look and how they present themselves. I promise you that it's information. I promise you everything is information based. So thank you very much. Thank you. Whereas that each and every single time you're a person who's giving a hand, you also get a hand. You have to understand. You always make sure you're giving more. I promise you give a high five, you get a high five. You give a kiss, you get a kiss. But doesn't matter what. You need more kisses in life when you're giving all the time. Whereas each and every single time, you have to understand that a kiss is beautiful, although you'll be more beautiful. Promise you each and every single time, you never ever get rejected, although you make sure that you're always giving something to get more. You have to get more, you have to do more, you have to be more. You have to understand it's about freedom. You have to understand that you go and grab people's hands. You grab them and you make sure you encourage them. You lift them up. You lift them up. I'll get you up. Realize that's leadership. I promise you, that's everything you ever need. I promise you, you need those type of friends in life. You need people who lift you up. You need to be lifted. You never kick people down. You never do that. You lift the people. I promise you, lift every single day. You have to. You have to be a leader every single day. You have to always encourage people to grow. You have to look people in the eye. You have to understand it's about freedom today. So make sure you're doing some charity work on the street. I realize it's worth it. I realize each and every single time we do something very special, I will promise you that you are going to be more special in Jesus Christ's name today. Because I'm doing this for Jesus. I realize I'm doing this for something greater than me. I realize no matter what, I believe in something greater. I realize that something in me right now has a passion. I realize I'm giving you the passion, I'm giving you the passion of Christ. Because I'm always more like Christ today. I realize I always follow Christ today. I have the passion of Christ in me. And that way I'm always doing something better than yesterday. I need to be that type of person who's always developing and never follow the crowd. I need to follow the 1% of the people, which is Jesus Christ. You need to understand, you're going to follow Jesus Christ today, I promise you will find your way. You'll find a way all the time. I need you to understand that's the best way. I need you to understand that each and every single time you promote yourself in Jesus Christ's name, and that way you understand it's about freedom. You guys can hear me this time because nice and beautiful techniques over here. I understand you have to keep going, you have to make sure you're always doing something greater, and you have to understand that it's really about giving people methods so that they succeed every day. I promise you that way, you'll always grow. You always find something to do. You always find something to say. I promise you that your voice has to be recorded 3 hours of the day in video. I promise you have to do that. You have to do that more and more throughout life. You have to understand that to be in front of the crowd is to be exhilarated. I promise you to be exhilarated is to be happier. You have to understand you'll be happier today and you'll be exhilarating. I promise you that's the whole point. I promise you need to be doing something that's going to make you exhilarating. I promise you having the crowd spotlight is happiness. I promise you it's so much happiness. I promise you I get more happiness growing in front of the crowd than ever. I promise you I get to do that every single day because I get to see people, I understand who they are, I understand I have to lift, I have to grow, I have to understand I need to have a passion in Christ all the time, and I understand I have to lift, I have to grow, I have to look people in the eye. I never give you the death stare, I give you the smile. I have to smile all the time. I have to realize I always have to be positive. I have to make sure I'm always confident. I have to make sure I'm always doing something better. Because when I'm better, I'm always greater. And you understand, you need to be better and better and better. You need to be that kind of person who's always growing. You need to grow, you need to learn more, you need to understand wisdom, you have to understand more mindset. You have to understand more mindset in terms of wisdom. You have to understand knowledge, because knowledge is going to get you happier. I give knowledge today because that's what helps me to grow. I have to grow each and every single day to be foundational, guys. So make sure no matter what, that when you're growing in daily life, you understand that when you get on the street, you're going to find a lot of people, you're going to case study them. You also realize that when you look at them, I promise you that's a case study. I promise you what a case study is studying people as they come along. I promise you each and every single time I look at a person, I understand who they are straight away. I'm always growing, I'm doing my business on the street, I do it 3 hours a day, and I do it for free. Or else I'd work 24/7 to make myself greater than yesterday. I have to be greater, I have to be more powerful. I have to make sure I have to lift people. Because each and every time I lift people, I'm more confident and more confident and more confident. I promise you that's what it's all about. I promise you that you have more confident books today than ever. I need you to go read more confidence in life. I need you to understand to go and approach confident people and learn from them. I need you to understand that confidence is key to be in front of a crowd and have some attention today. I promise you that's what it's all about. I promise you it's about confidence and courage, which you can do today. You can do it today because you're doing it right now. Although you have to be greater, you have to be stronger, you have to be looking better, you have to feel greater to be in the spotlight. And you should understand you need to do better than who you are. And you should understand that life goes quickly. Although you understand that you have to be quicker than life itself. You have to be quick to make sure that you're quick to the punch to grow. You have to grow, you have to learn. And you have to understand you have to have speed. You have to be speedness. You have to understand you have to be a Speedy Gonzalez in life. You have to understand you have to grow. You have to do something very foundational. You have to do something much better than yesterday. You have to be that type of person who's never judging other people. Although you're loving yourself the most, I promise you it's important. I promise you it's important to have self-love every single day. I promise you those people who have self-love are the ones who are greatness. I promise you those people are going to be greater. You have to understand that self-love is key and self-love is interest. I promise you need to be interested in yourself more and more and look at yourself 24/7. I promise you that's the best way to gain self-love. I promise you that's the best way. I'm rich or better. I understand that each and every single time I go in front of an audience, I'm always doing something to promote myself in a better way. I understand I'm always free. I'm always doing something that's really going to grow me. And that way I understand to always look at people in the eye, because that way I'll be more free. Because it's about people's eyes and never about anything else. Whereas it's about soul-to-soul connection with your heart. That's what I'm saying. You look at people with the heart, and that's it. You can look all the time inside, and that's the only way. Because the only way is looking inside to make yourself greatness. You have to understand that greatness is found in you and never in other people. Understand that other people will never call you greatness. Understand that you must call yourself greatness all the time. I understand I'm greatness. I realize that I never need validation from other people to call me something. I understand you call yourself everything that's better over me. That's the best way. That you need to be a person who's always lifting one way or another, because you have to be in the spotlight. You have to be a person who's growing daily. You have to be that kind of person who understands that when you're in the front of a crowd, you're going to also journal in your video. You're going to journal in your video something of interest. You're going to look at people and you're going to understand to study people, because to study people is also to public speak, and it's also to have a beautiful attitude, and it's to be presentable. And how you present yourself today is how you also read. You have to understand that you read better and better and better throughout time, because that's habits. You have to build better habits all the time. And understand that no matter what, each and every single time you have better habits, you have more information to do so. You understand more respect. You have to understand more action today is going to make you greater. Promise you that each and every single time you're doing something of interest, you'll do something that's really going to be important. You have to be more aware. You have to understand you have to be quick to function in a better way. You have to understand that psychology, it has everything to do with communication. And those people who have no mental health issues are the ones who are confident. You have to understand you need to be more confident, you need to have more communication skills every single day to grow. You have to understand that attention is key. So you can gain some more attention today by being in the spotlight in terms of street performance today. Because that is the most important aspect of life, because 36 hours of doing this, I've totally grown. I've totally grown myself, I promise you, I'm not lying about this. I realize that I'm a person who understands much growth. I understand much more that I can do. I realize that when I do much more, I realize I'm always foundational in what I say. And that's the whole point, because my spotlight is inside. And here I am pronouncing my spotlight. I realize it's about spotlight. And those people who have more spotlight have more of everything. I promise you that Jesus Christ had spotlight. I need you to have also. I should understand you need the spotlight more than everything. I realize that you need the spotlight more than me. I need to understand that I just need to get you there much more. I need to understand that you need to always be encouraged. You have to understand that I need more and more throughout time. I need to always have more than everything in life. I have to understand that to get more, I have to grow more. I have to understand I have to believe in myself. I realize that you have to believe in yourself too. I understand we have to grow together. I understand I'm not competing with anybody over here. I realize that I'm competing with myself only. I realize that since I'm competing with myself, I'm doing something greater and greater and greater every single day.
Yes.
I'm always doing something to be in front of a crowd. I always see that smile, I make sure that it's more beautiful. You have to understand, I make sure I grow you, I make sure I lift you, I make sure I give you some beautiful encouragement, because that smile is going to make sure that you're happier. You have to understand, no matter what, you have to be happier today. You have to do something that's really encouraging, because encouraging people can do it. You have to understand, you can do it today, you can walk, you can do it. I want you that the training rules of life is called be a student all your life. You have to be a student, you have to grow, you have to learn 1% of every single subject in the world. I promise you that's what Brian Tracy says. I promise you that no matter what, Jesus Christ will tell you that you have to read everything. You have to read everything, you have to study everything, because that's the only way. I promise you the only way is read more and you have more of everything that you need. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you the best way is never the money way, I promise you it's the free way. You go the free way, which is the street performance way, and you realize that you put yourself on the street for 3 hours every single day. I promise you, you do some content, you actually gain some more content, and you realize that you guys can watch me on 4 times the speed, and you can understand my body posture too. Whereas I was watching myself like this, I was really fast inside my video. Whereas that's the whole point. Whereas I'm rich or better, because I'm never presenting people, because I'm growing. I'm always figuring out a better way. I realize I've never had myself figured out, although I'm growing. I understand greater than yesterday. I'm doing something better than yesterday. I realize I'm increasing my skills every single day. I see new people every single day. I connect with more new people every single day. I realize that when you have a connection with people, you can see how they react, and you can also learn from people themselves. You have to understand that everybody is going to teach you something about themselves. You have a story, you give the story more, you'll be more inspiring. I promise you have to write the story more. I write my story 30,000 words every single day about myself in my journal. I realize that each and every single time I have to communicate more, I have to do more, I have to be more, I have to understand that it's about connection. You have to connect, you have to grow, you have to understand you have to do something greater, because that way you'll do something that's going to lift you. You have to understand you never be a person who's scared, because you're going to live in the heart. That way you understand you see who they are, and guess what? You stay away from them, because guess what? You never be around people who look dangerous. You have to understand that you be a person who understands that life is to be much brighter. You never be around people who look dark and gangster type. You have to understand you be around those people who have more mindset and more attention and more to grow you with. You have to understand that to understand trust, you have to understand to trust something greater than yourself. You trust something greater by lifting, and you understand you'll be trusted more and more. Realize that there is no violence in the world. You never ever be a person who's causing violence. And that way you understand there's nothing to fear. Prosh, I stay away from the news, I stay away from the radio, because in my life there is no violence. I'm never a person who is violent with myself. I'm not a person who's an emo or anything like that. You have to understand I never judge them either. I understand that I'm just a person who's greater. I'm greater than yesterday. I understand I never have to cut myself. I never have to bleed, because I never make other people bleed either. I understand I never watch violence. I never watch the UFC. I don't care about that. I care about growth. I care about growing people and never breaking their legs. I never care about that. I care about growing you. I never care to hurt you, because Jesus will never break your leg in the UFC. I promise you that Jesus will never even fight in the UFC. I promise you that Jesus will never be seen in a cage with other people fighting them. I promise you have to understand Jesus Christ more. Understand that violence is never the solution. I promise you that UFC, I'll stay away from it. Realize that I never need it. I never need to watch boxing. I never need to see people getting hit. I understand that I stay away from violence. I stay away from the TV and the news, because they show so much violence. I don't care about violence. I stay away from it. I realize that action films, I stay away from it. I promise you, it's all violence. I stay away from it. I have to be a kinder person. I have to be I have to be a more understanding with myself to understand the greater me. And the greater me is I. I realize that I is over me. I realize that I is everything. I realize that I have a dream. You have to have a dream all the time. You have to understand the dream is you. You have to understand you have to be a better vision. You have to understand there is a better vision that is you. You have to be greater. You have to be tougher. You have to understand to be stronger all the time. You have to understand you have to always be greater. You have to look greater. You have to smile better. You have to have a better everything in life. You understand? You have to better yourself. That's what it's all about. It's about encouragement and looking better and studying what you're eating and drinking all the time. Thank you very much. You have to always be that person. You have to be cheering life. You have to understand that to say cheers, you say, I cheer you on. I love you. And thank you very much. I put the I there. I never just say cheers. I say, I cheer you on. I love you. And thank you very much. I have to put my I there. I thank you guys very much. I never just say thank you. I say, I thank you. I realize that it's a difference. I realize I always use my I. I realize that I love you. I never just say I love you. I say, I love you. I say with the I first. I thank you very much. I love you both. Thank you. You have to understand, you have to be a person who loves people. You have to be a person who just says, I love you. You have to understand, to love yourself is greatness. You have to be that kind of person. You have to understand that loving yourself is serenity. I promise you it's tranquility. I promise you it's trance. I promise you it's everything. I promise you today, I'm much stronger than ever, because here I am doing 36 hours of video content. I realize it's a very beautiful idea to be on the street doing it, and you record yourself, and you sell a course for free. You don't sell it for money. Although you understand that the course is you. I promise you the course is your development and becoming greater. I promise you my course today is very loud in its wisdom. I promise you I can teach you some wisdom today. You can find on my Instagram. I have over 300 videos in hours of content. I realize no matter what, I'm always growing. I have the next 72 years to do so. I promise you this lifetime I accomplished 10 years of video work. No worries. As I do on the street. You have to always grow. You have to understand that life is never how much money you make, it's how much courses have you taught. Whereas over my years, I can teach over 10 years of video courses online. Whereas I can do it on the street in front of people. I never have to look at my camera, I look at people now. I can do it, it's much better. Whereas it's much better to teach video while looking at people than having to look at the video in terms of my phone. Whereas I'd rather do it in front of people, I'd rather just look at people. Whereas that's the best way. Whereas the best way is do it in front of people, and you understand you'll be lifted. You'll be a person who's confident. You understand there's always something greater in you that understands you can walk faster than you do when you read how to do it. You have to understand there's always making sure that you understand energy. I promise you, energy is really lifting yourself. You have to understand you have to look better. You have to do better. I have to do better as well. I have to speak faster. I have to do better. I have to look better than this. I have to have bigger muscles. I have to understand that we have to encourage each other. I never need you to be offended. And you should understand there's always a greater way than what you're doing today. I need you to understand that your high school friends, I'm going to leave you in 10 years' time. I promise you. I promise you have to encourage yourself to grow. You have to grow all the time. I promise you, no matter what, you be that person who understands life goes separate ways, although you be one with something greater. I promise you, that way you understand that the real friends of life are the ones who are growing. I need you to understand that growth is key. I promise you that growth is foundational. You need to always lift, you need to encourage, you need to lift, you need to inspire, you need to understand your A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. I realize I know never my ABC because guess what? I can see it. I never know anything. I understand though that you have to be that person who is really growing. You have to understand there's always a nice, beautiful rhythm that you can do every single day that's much better. You have to always be better. You have to do better. You have to understand better, less. You have to understand what's better in life. You go and ask what's better today. And I realize that no matter what, you have to understand that each and every single time you're doing something that's really something more foundational. That's you today. Realize that you must be foundational in order for yourself to grow. I promise you that if I don't grow today, I cause suicide. I promise you I have to always grow. I promise you that every single time I name Jesus and I say, I thank you, Lord. I thank you for living this life, because without you I'll never be able to live. I promise you, without you, I have nothing in this world. I promise you, although you will understand that Jesus is the first teacher on the planet, I promise you there's nobody else that can teach greater than Jesus Christ. You have to grow, you have to understand, to be in front of people is so exhilarating. I promise you, it's much more happiness. I promise you, when a person has so many eyes, a person who's giving attention, you're giving more attention in the spotlight, I promise you, you're going to get more attention, you're going to feel more love, and you have more to do. You understand more theory behind public speaking, and you can start today to have a nice, beautiful seminar in the street. You can understand that I have a seminar every single day for 3 hours. I public speak for 3 hours, and who's going to stop me? I promise you, I never even stop me. I realize I never even stop it. I realize I'm making sure I grow. I'm making sure I'm always doing something that's much better. I realize that each and every single time you need a seminar or something beautiful in terms of public speaking, you do on the street, you do something to lift yourself, you go upwards, you understand that something is going to lift you. You have to understand that something's going to do you better when you're understanding there's always a better way. I promise you there's a better way than what you're doing today. I promise you there's a better way to look better. I make sure that I never invest in a backpack or anything. I invest in a nice, beautiful shoulder bag. I get a shoulder bag that has my beautiful business skills in here, and I never look like a hostler. I never look like a traveller. I look like a local in Brisbane. I understand that I'm a traveller, although I never look like a person who lives in a hostel. You have to understand I live better than ever. I live better than ever, although I have a one-bedroom apartment. You have to understand I have a one-bedroom apartment, and guess what? I'm doing better. I'm doing better than yesterday, because that's the whole point. I never do it for money. I give $28 a night for one bedroom, and guess what? It's worth it. You have to understand that. Soon, I'll be traveling more in Australia. That's the whole point. You have to understand, you have to be free. You have to be moving. You have to understand, it's never about the 9-to-5 job. Understand that what grows you will lead you. I promise you, you have to grow. You have to always give more ideas. You have to give more to receive more. You have to understand that it's what you sow, you shall reap. You have to understand, you have to give more. You have to understand, you have to give more of your heart. Because the heart that you're really developing is your face. Your face is your heart. Your heart is your business. You do it for free. You grow yourself. You grow yourself and your heart for free. Promise you never sell your heart. You never sell yourself. You never sell your heart for money. You sell it for free. Promise you what you're selling is your attitude. You're selling your heart all the time. Promise you the better your attitude, the better your gratitude. You have to understand. You have to be a person in the heart. You have to grow your heart all the time. You have to understand there's always a better way than what you're doing today. You have to always give attention to get attention. You have to understand it's always about being more of a person who understands that greater goodness is found in you. You have to understand when you're ignoring the crowd, I realize that's the best way. Although when you're ignoring somebody who's lifting you, I promise you that's the worst way. I promise you only ignore the crowd who's never lifting you. You only give attention to the ones who are growing you. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you that ignorance alone is never the way. I promise you that you ignore most of life, although you give attention to the 1% of the world who's growing you. You have to understand that the best way is to go the 1% way where nobody else is going. I promise you that who else is doing public speaking on the street? I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody, although you understand that I don't even know myself. I'm just better than this day. I see who I am. I see who I am. I never have to know myself. I see who I am. I see who I am in Jesus Christ. You have to understand it's really about what you see today. I realize it's more about critical thinking. You have to understand to critically think in life, you have to think in a moment. You have to understand you have to write it down. I realize that as Jamie Smart says, you have to feel your thinking. And to feel your thinking is to just be in your feelings. And to understand, to feel your thinking, I also say in terms of what Jamie Smart says, I realize that I also say to feel your thinking, you feel it on paper too. You have to understand, you have to plan your life, you have to look better, you have to feel better, you have to understand to write your story down. You have to be a person who understands life much greater. You have to do much greater. You have to understand that to write your story down every single day is to get more confident, because the more you can write, the more you can publicly speak. And you should understand, you need to write more, you need to do more. You have to understand, you have to really lift every single day. There's always something better you can do. You have to understand that there is always a way that you can be in front of the crowd today. You have to understand that to be in front of the crowd is to be more successful than the crowd. And you should understand, that is the best way. And you should understand that those people who never lie, I never lie, although you understand that those people who have more attention are more successful, because it's about 1 million friends over $1 million. I understand. I'd rather have a friend than $1 million. I'd rather have a friend. I'd rather have Jesus Christ than money itself. You have to understand. You go and be a person who's lifting and doing a greater job and doing something to give people attention all the time. You're doing something to live, and that way you're going to understand serenity. I promise you, serenity is found in you. I promise you, it's never found in other people. I promise you, it's found in wisdom and the ideas that you're really listening to. I promise you that I'm listening to the best ideas in the world because I'm an insider. I'm an insider with people who teach me something to grow. I'm an insider with Jesus Christ and Eckhart Tolle and John C. Maxwell and Jim Rohn and also Zig Ziglar. I learned from these people. I learned from Tony Robbins. I learned from public speakers like Les Brown. Realize I'm always learning. I'm always growing. I'm always doing something motivational. Because I'm a motivating person, because I'm better than yesterday. I look at, I feel it, I am it. I realize that I'm in this moment. I realize I'm always doing something that's really going to be more incredible. And what's more incredible than me? I realize that Jesus Christ is more incredible than me. I realize that I'm always doing something for Jesus Christ. I'm always doing something for free. Because the freedom way is the best way. You can see the Bible is for free. You understand? When you create your own book, you never price it either. And understand, it's really do the free work first. You shall be gifted by giving wisdom toward others and you'll gain more from it. Understand that life is work, and the life that you need today is more wisdom work. You need to be more giving. You have to give more of your heart. You have to understand to give more of your heart is to be a leader. You have to give more and you'll receive more. You do something really foundational. Understand that it's about attitude, and those people who have a better one are going to lead. I need you to understand that I have an attitude that's better than yesterday. I'm improving my attitude. As Dr. Wayne Dyer says, your attitude is what you're selling, and you sell it for free. You never sell yourself for money. You never sell your time for money. I need you to understand that time is freedom, and time is never money. I need you to understand time is never money. I need you to understand that time is freedom. I need you to understand that you're never working for money. You're never working for anything other than time, and to have more time in your life for Jesus Christ. You have to understand it's really about lifting yourself. You lift yourself in Jesus Christ's name. You understand that no matter what, you're going to learn everything, and you just be open-minded. I mean, I don't know why people are so ignorant, although you understand that they are people who are egotistical. I understand that when they closed off from Jesus Christ, who never hurt them in the first place, I promise you they're just people who never learned to grow. I promise you they're people who just block people. I promise you never block people. You never block anybody in life. I promise you, although you just go to where the 1% of the world is. I promise you the 1% of the world is Jesus Christ today. I need you to understand you have to learn from entrepreneurs. You have to learn from something greater than you. Because there is something greater. I promise you that you have to be greater. You have to understand there's always something greater in life. I promise you that Jesus Christ is the greatest human alive, and God. I promise you, no matter what, you be a person who understands that there is something greater than us in life. I promise you that greater, we work for something greater. We never work for ourselves. I need you to understand, I'm always greater though, and I never need you to be a person who's kicking people down. I understand I never kick them down. I understand I grow them. I understand that what I said is something growing. To understand that you're always looking up in a way that you're growing people and doing something better. You're feeling better, you understand yourself, you understand that in 10 years' time, you have to be better than yesterday. You have to be better than yesterday in 2 days' time. You have to make sure that no matter what, you're never putting poisons in you, because that's going to kill you and that's going to make you less of who you need to be. And you should understand that I was a smoker, although I quit caffeine, and I quit the cigarettes right away. When I was like, caffeine is a big part of my life before, and you understand that was a big trigger for me to even smoke cigarettes. And because I quit caffeine, I quit the cigarettes also, and then here I am. I realize here I am doing a greater job, doing something greater in I, because I is everything. I have a dream. Because I have a dream to really understand that there is a greater way in I. Understand that you have to always look at the emotions and who you are. You have to understand I love you. I love you. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you the best way is I. You need a greater I in life. I love you. And you should understand your I is intense. And those people who have an I, I'm going to teach nothing of dying interest. I need you to understand you never die, you just put your I out there. I love you. I love you guys. Because guess what? I'm always growing. I'm always doing something that's really foundational. I promise you, when I say I love you guys, I mean it. Because I say it. So I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Because it's about ideas. And you should understand that we never get love back. You just give love. You just give love because you never expect love from other people. Because you're never, ever a person who's less responsible. I need you to be more responsible every single day. To never expect love from other people. I never need you to expect other people to help you to succeed. Because When you look into outside pleasures and outside circumstances and outside people to help you, I promise you they'll never help you. I promise you that what's going to help you today is more action and to really walk your life in Jesus Christ's name today. I understand it's really about doing more courage work and positive work and life coaching and managing yourself much better and living life much more. I realize to live life much more is called life coaching. I promise you that when you're living life, you can also be a life coach. I need you to be a life coach, I need you to be a public speaker, I need you to do something greater, I need you to love yourselves every single day, because loving yourself is the greatest in history. I promise you it's better than anything else. I need you to understand you love yourself every single day. I promise you it's worth it. You always own up to it. You own up to it. You take ownership every single day. You do something that's worth it every single day. I promise you that's what's worth it. You learn to grow. You learn to grow in one way or another. You're doing something that's foundational. You're doing something that's really going to help. You have the agility. You have something that's really quick. You have to be quick in your life. You have to understand that speed is everything. You have to understand you have speediness. You are also Speedy Gonzalez when you're learning. You have to learn and grow. You have to be a Speedy Gonzalez. You understand you have to be a Speedy Gonzalez today. You have to understand you have to be quick. You have to be something greater than yourself. You have to be something really foundational. You have to understand that confidence comes from within. I need you to understand that everything comes from within. I understand that Jesus is inside of you right now. I need you to understand that everything in you must lead something greater. You must lead to understand there's always a better way to do what you're doing, although you understand the street is the best way to get some attention. And then don't realize that you have to go do it. You have to understand that whatever you're doing in a 9-to-5 job, if you're working, I realize that if you're working a 9-to-5 job, you're going to do it on the street too. Realize that is your passion. Realize you go and do it for free. Realize you build some attention and you get some more confidence. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you that you can do it. I promise you you can always look greater than you do. I promise you no matter what, I always accept a greater you. Only accept a greater you. Only accept you when you're learning. You have to understand, I accept only something that's growing. You have to understand, I accept what's growing because guess what? I'm always growing. I'm always a person who's lifting. I'm always a person who's lifting. So guess what? I realize to make sure that you're always accepting everything. I'm always accepting everything, although I'm only accepting you when you're growing. Otherwise, I need to always stay dissatisfied because when I accept people who are never growing, I realize that I'll never grow. You have to understand, I only accept myself growing in life. Otherwise, that is the only point in history. Pretty much the whole point that you can do in life is to make sure no matter what, you're always doing something more foundational. You're doing something in terms of your video that's really going to describe a better way. You're doing something that's really going to help you do better. You have to do better in a way that no matter what you have to live. You have to understand that leadership is everything. And that leadership is quality. And when you're leading something, you're leading yourself the most. You understand that's the only way to be in life. You never think about life, you see life. You see with your heart. I promise you never think about anything. You follow your heart. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you the best way is your feelings. I promise you the best way to understand and absorb information today is with your feelings. You're doing it with your feelings every day. You're lifting. You're making sure no matter what, you're more encouraging. And you're more uplifting. And you're more upbeat. And you have more energy. And you're out of the 9-to-5 job. You're doing something in public speaking and leadership. I promise you that's the best way. I promise you have to be a leader today. You have to be on the microphone. You have to be on the microphone one way or another. You have to understand that those people who are on the street and doing something that's really foundational are the ones who are just showing up every single day and doing their work every single day. I realize that before I even come here, I feel so lazy. Although, guess what? I feel amazing. I feel lazy. I feel amazing. Although, I realize I'm never lazy. I show up every single day. And guess what? I build momentum. I build momentum to do these life coaching videos every single day so that I can understand there's always something greater in I understand that each and every single time I have to always lift, I have to inspire, and that's the whole point. You have to inspire people. You have to understand that many people on the road in terms of street performance, and you can do it around Australia, you can do it around in your country, in terms of street performance, you can do it for free. You understand? You can do it in a tunnel and you have a nice echo, and that's the whole point. And you record yourself, please. I need you to understand when you're doing content, you record yourself all the time. And you sell your courses for free. I need you to understand, I'm never selling these courses for money. I never do it for money, I do it for freedom. I need you to understand that the money is never going to help you. I need you to understand that money is never important. I promise you the money is wisdom. I promise you the more courses you have, I promise you the more wisdom you have. I have over 300 hours of courses. I teach so much. Because that is the whole point of life. You need to be that kind of person. You have to always have a better talk with yourself all the time. You have to always be that kind of person who understands you much greater. I need you to always be better. I always need you to be recollective, which is really retrospect. I need you to understand that retrospect is self-evaluation and self-awareness. I need you to understand your words. I need you to understand your courage is in your words. So you keep your words all the time to look better and feel better and do better all the time. I need you to always realize that each and every single word matters. And you need to speak more. You have to speak more all the time. I need you always to smile more. I need you always to be greater than you are. I need you to understand there's always a greater way. I need you to understand that most people are fake. And those ones who are never fake are the ones who are showing up in front of a crowd and lifting. I need you to lift all the time. I need you to understand that it's really about I realize it's really about never egotistical people. And you have to understand it's really about lifting everything in life. So you understand it's really about awareness. I need you to only eat less throughout time, because that way you have more energy, and you understand Tony Robbins says that, and that way you understand that Jesus Christ, who is number one in my heart, always says that. You have to understand that every single day, I realize that every single day I'm always better than yesterday. I'm always saying I'm rich or better, because that unlocks a beautiful abundance in me to forgive and forget in a way that I grow. I only grow. I want to make sure that no matter what, that you guys have more forgiveness today, because that's the only way you will forgive yourself for anything you've done. I realize that whatever you've done, that sin is really judgment. I realize that when you're judging too many people, you're dying. I never need you to judge. I need you to allow people to live their life. I need you to allow them to do whatever they're doing, and never block them, and never shush them, and never say anything to prevent them from doing what they're doing, and just allow them to do it. You never block life, because otherwise you'll block yourself. I never need you to block yourself. You let people to walk. I never block you to walk. I realize no matter what you walk, you have to understand you never block people. You never block yourself either. Understand whatever you do to other people, you're doing it to yourself. You have to understand you never judge other people, because otherwise you judge yourself. You never judge. I thank you very much. I've seen you so many times. I thank you very much. I just know what you just be the type of person who understands that when you have a nice beautiful connection, you're doing something every single day to improve yourself, and that way you understand there's always a better way. The better way is inside. You have to understand that serenity is everything, and when you find it, you'll realize it's inside. I realize that inside is key. I realize inside is leadership. You never find anything outside of yourself. There's nothing out there that's going to satisfy you. You always have to lift. You always have to make sure no matter what, you're going to be a person who has much more in life. You have to understand there's always a much better way to understand there's a better way in you. You have to understand you have to lift. You have to understand you have to have more courage. You have to do better. You have to feel better. You have to talk better. You have to understand there's always something more you can do. You have to be that type of person who understands freedom. I understand that when you look at a dog, you cheer the dog on in a way that you're lifting the dog too. You have to understand no matter what, you lift yourself, because you understand that the dog will never understand you. You understand that no matter what, you be a person who understands yourself the most, and that way you understand that what's important is something greater. You have to be greater. You have to have more leadership. You have to understand you have to have more of you in terms of life where you're happier. You have to be happier, and that way you understand to read happiness books, or else you can read success books today. You can read something in terms of peaceful content and material, which is wisdom. You'll understand that wisdom is going to help you to have more love. I promise you. That's what I'm giving today. I'm giving more wisdom, which is love. You should understand. I'm just speaking in a way to give you more ideas, so you understand that it's really about courage. And those people who can stand in front of the crowd are going to build confidence and courage. And you should understand that each and every single time you look at somebody, you'll find out who they are. You'll find out the nature. You'll find that you can teach yourself on the go who you are. I promise you, that's the best way. You teach yourself how you pronounce yourself in a way that you can always learn, you can grow, you can always look at people, and you can be encouraging with yourself while you're looking. That's the whole point. The point is have more attention. You have to give more attention to gain more attention. So when you give more attention, you also be popular. You have to give more attention. You have to be in front of people to give attention, and that way you understand you can do street performance today with whatever you're passionate about. Realize that you can always figure a way to do some street performance today with what you're passionate about, because that way you understand you get some attention and you start scaling your business in a greater way. You can always do greater, you can always feel greater, you can always do something that's very important, and you just look to yourself for everything. Realize when you're looking to yourself, you're looking to yourself for something greater only. Realize that is the best way. Realize that when you're looking for yourself, you look inside only, and then that way you'll find something greater. Understand that is the only way to go. Promise you that what is greater is inside. Promise you it's never without. Promise you it's what you give. Promise you it's what you're giving today that's really going to improve you. Promise you that it's really quickness, it's speed, to make sure you're communicating more, to have more vocabulary, and to look inside, and to have a heart of interest. You have to have a heart of interest. You have to be interested in yourself. As I was saying, no matter what, you're always that type of person who understands a greater way of life and doing always something that's going to improve you. You're doing something greater that's going to lift you. You have to understand. You have to understand that is the best way. You have to have a pause here and there, although you understand that you're growing, you're doing something that's really important, and you understand that you always have freedom, you have more courage, you have more confidence, you have more abilities. You can always write your skills down. You can always teach something about your life. I write 30,000 words about myself every single day, and that's why I'm so confident. I realize that each and every single time I'm doing something more. I'm always doing something more because I'm important. I'm important to really live life. I'm important to understand there is something greater in my life. I understand that each and every single time I'm doing something greater, I always have more confidence, and that way I have more growth skills. I'm always a growth coach. I'm doing something that's really growing. I'm growing you every single day with more information. I have over 300 courses in my life. I realize no matter what, I have the next 73 years to give you 1,000 million courses. I don't care, because guess what? I care about something greater. I only care about something greater. I care to lift you. I care to inspire you. I care no matter what to understand that there's always a better way, and that way you understand how to really live life, which is in the moment. You have to understand. You have to be in front of people. You have to always look at people. You have to have a conversation with yourself every single day upon what you're doing, and it's always exhilarating when people are walking past, because I get to see each and every one of your faces, and it's so beautiful to even see that. I love your smile. Thank you. But no matter what, just make sure that you go and do much better. You have to smile more. You have to be more. You have to understand there's always more. I realize there's always more encouragement to do. I realize that communication is a skill. You need more communication to live life more. Because that is the only way to write more and to do more. And to communicate more is to write more. So realize that writing is the best aspect of my life. I have to be a writer every single day. I'm writing this video. I write material that's wisdom. I grow you in every single way that I can. And I'm growing each and every step of the way to make sure I'm growing myself to do something better each and every single step of the way. That's the best way. First, outside it may be dark, although I've got some lights over here. I'm in the spotlight, making sure no matter what, I'm still doing my content. And nobody's interrupting me, and that's the best point of view, because guess what? Nobody else has interrupted me today, and that way I'm always growing. And you'll understand that no matter what, I'm a person who understands that courage is now. And those people understand that nobody has interrupted me today, which is a positive word today. And that way you understand that only 1% of the world is negative, so realize that 99% of the world is positive and going to lift you and inspire you. You have to understand that only 1% of the people will lift you and inspire you from that 99% of people who are positive. You have to understand you're only with 1% of the people who are growing. And you understand that you just be in the one rule, which is be number one, and be with the number 1% of the people who are lifting, and be number one with Jesus, because guess what? The biggest number is number one. And it's never $1 million. Number one is the biggest number, and without one, there is no other numbers. And you should understand, it goes 1, 2, 3. Promotion never starts from 1 million, promotion starts from number one. And you should understand, you go where the number one is. Promotion, when you look at number one, you go that path. Promotion, you may have a sign that says number one, you go that way. Promotion, when you look at number one, and number two, and number three, you pick the number one section. Promotion, that's the best one. Promotion, you go to number one, or you always go number one. I need you always to make sure that you understand, realize that to lose weight, you have to stay away from food. You have to stay away from food, and it's never about exercise. I realize it's never about exercise when you're losing weight. I need you to understand it's really about encouraging yourself to really motivate yourself to stay away from certain food that's very fatty. I need you to understand that when you stay away from the pizza, you stay away from the sugary drinks, you become vegan, you lose all the weight you ever need. Honestly, you have to study, you have to learn every single day to grow more and do better. And to understand it's really nutrition, skills that you need to live longer. You have to understand that it's never about eating, or else it's about wisdom. I need you to understand that all the wisdom I do is I eat wisdom every single day. I thank you very much. I eat wisdom every single day. I promise that's all my food. I promise the food I eat today is just wisdom. I eat just wisdom today. I promise I eat nothing else. I just eat wisdom. I promise the wisdom I eat is I give. I give you dinner. I give you dinner through information. I give you love. I give you everything through communication. I never need anybody else except for something greater. Otherwise, I'm always doing something for something greater. I'm always doing something to make you lifted. No matter what, I'm gifted, because guess what? I give my gifts. I find them. I find treasures in myself because I am treasure. I realize that I have to have self-love because that's my gift. I realize that when I live this life, I have a heart, I have a gift. You have to understand your gift is your heart. And you use it in a way you learn some more information and you understand that positivity is your nature. And I never need you to be around negative people. I realized that when I was growing up, I realized that most of the crowd is going to lead you different ways. I realized I made a list just recently that said most of the crowd is going to lead you in the stock market and toward the money, and they're going to lead you toward beer and toxic drugs. I need you to understand that you never believe the crowd, you believe something greater. I need you to understand you don't believe Jesus Christ. I need you to understand that Jesus Christ will never ever tell you to go around the crowd and negativity. I need you to understand that you go today to learn what negativity is and what positivity is. And you say, is this person negative or is this person positive? I mean, when they're positive, you hang around with them when they're only lifting you, because only 1% of positive people are going to lift you today. I promise you, only 1% of positive people will lift you. I promise you, only 1% of people will lift you, so be a person who's lifting, and be that 1% today who's going to lift and encourage people to stand out. I need you to stand out today, I need you to smile more every single day, I need you to be happier, I need you to understand that happiness is inside, and those people who understand inside, understand God. I need you to understand that God is inside. I need you to understand that everything that you ever need is inside. I need you to understand life through devouring it inside of yourself to make yourself something worth it. I need you to understand you devour wisdom and you make sure you always increase it. You increase it through devouring it in a way you're increasing it. I realize that anyway, I realize that I'm always doing something to never give up because the whole point of life is to keep going. I realize that you're never faking it, and what's fake is never doing it. I realize that once I'm doing this, you can see who I am through what I do. You can see that I'm real in my video. You can see I'm doing this performance right now, and it's real. And I realize that it's real. You have to understand that what's real is my attitude right now. You have to understand that I'm performing it right now. I realize that who I am today is my attitude. I promise you have to hang around with more people who have better attitudes. I promise you when you find a better attitude, you go around it because those people have better habits. I promise you that those people who can never speak are the ones who have worse habits. I promise you that when you can speak better, you also have better communication skills. And communication skills is the action you've taken today. I understand it's also the ideas you've taken today. In terms of you never take anything, although you have to lift yourself for information to become more rich. You have to understand that richness is found in information. I need you to understand that those people who can communicate in front of a crowd are also the people who have the most information. You have to have more information every single day about everything. You have to understand that a gift is to be in the moment. You understand you always have to do something that's greater. You have to do something and give people full attention all the time to understand who they are. You always have to make sure that you're always journaling your life. You have to be a documentary of your life. You have to be the person and the movie of your story. I promise you, you have to take more photos of yourself in terms of you have to invest in more photos of yourself in terms of looking better and doing more videos and audio content and writing materials so you can do something greater because I sell nothing for money, I sell it for free. Or else I have over 300 videos in 300 hours and more, or else I do it for free. I do 300 hours of video content for free. I never sell it for money. Or else I'm richer because I'm giving you so much content for free. Or else no matter what, I'm always going to stand out that way because it's about leaving a legacy. You have to understand you leave a better legacy, you leave something greater than you. You have to understand you have to go and do 1,000 videos that is 3 hours long and you give it for free because that way you understand you're going to impact the world in a better way. And long term is key. You have to understand to see long term only. You never know long term, you never think long term, you never think short term. You just see long term. You have to be long term in your perspective. First, the long term matters. I should understand the calculator will help you long term. I should understand to calculate your numbers to make sure you have more numbers in terms of number one. And you should have number one in your life because number one is all the multiplications and everything about mathematics. I promise you those people have more number one in their life. I promise you they're simplified people. I promise you they're positive. I promise you they've got everything. I promise you they're always inspiring. I promise you they're growing. I promise you no matter what they're lifting. And that way you understand you have to always be more romantic in a way you're growing. You're always growing in a way that you understand that it's about encouragement and lifting yourself today to be greatness. You have to be greatness. You have to understand greatness is in you. You have to understand that leadership is in you. You have to understand that happiness is in you right now. And you'll never find it anywhere else. You have to understand you have to find yourself much greater. You'll understand that when you find my Instagram, you'll find so many photos of myself because I love myself so much. I love myself so much because I'm worth it. And you have to understand that a positive role model is going to have more photos of themselves and more writing materials and more videos of themselves and do it for free. You have to be that kind of person who understands there is a better way. You can do it much greater. You can do something much greater today, and that's really encourage people to do a much better job. You have to be that kind of person because many people are going to give you ideas. And even when they look at you, I promise you that's an idea. I promise you when they blink at you, or they say something, or they're negative around you, I promise you they give you some ideas. And then you grab some statistics. I promise you from the 20,000 people that have walked past, I promise you 5 of them have been negative with me. I need you to understand what's happening around the world. I need you to understand the world's positive most of the time. I need you to understand that from this point on, I realize I'm always growing. I'm always doing something that's really going to grow. I have a nice, beautiful video camera over here. I give 1,000 video hours of content. I do it for free. I never sell anything for money because I never sell myself for a price. I'm priceless. I do something priceless. I'm a priceless tag. I realize no matter what, I never sell myself with money. I sell myself with attitude. I make sure I grow my attitude all the time. Make sure I'm always uplifting my attitude because attitude is in your communication, and the better your attitude, the better you are. I realize that when I listen to audiobooks, I listen to the attitude in the audiobooks because that's what you're developing throughout time. I realize it's the attitude. You have to understand about the attitude is gratitude. You have to understand that those people have better attitudes are going to have better growth theories. And to understand that theories inside audiobooks is you listen to the nice, beautiful tonalities that the person's giving. That's the attitude you need. I'm richer better. Although you understand that your heart is everything when you're communicating more. You have to communicate more to be lifted, and you have to be gifted all the time. You have to understand that you have to keep your fame. You have to understand you're a gift today. You have to understand you're a gift. You have a present, which is your heart. You go to give your heart. You understand you have so much information today, you have to read. I read 35 hours a day in 10 hours. I realize that I read 3.5 times faster. I realize I'm always doing something that's great. I'm always doing something that's really going to make me quicker. I realize that today I felt so strong. I felt so powerful. And a person stopped me today to say you have to turn off your music. I realized no matter what, I asked them some questions about how to do some stuff. I realized that the person's saying that I cannot do something. I can do something all the time. I can always do something, although they never allow me to have a microphone and amplified speaker while having a permit to be around the crowd because they're annoyed about the amplification of my sound. And guess what? They need me to shout over the top with my lungs while I public speak. Although I never care about the permit anymore, I care about doing this work with my video because that's something more important than shouting. And you guys have to hear me much greater. You have to understand no matter what, I'm always doing something greater. I'm always doing something that has a better fuel. But I'm always getting more ideas. I'm always getting more ideas because guess what? You need more ideas to grow. You need more ideas to cherish yourself. Understand that information is key to living a more successful life. First, you need to read. You have to study. You have to be a student of the game. Understand the game is here to understand no matter what, you understand you're the game, although you understand the game is here to love yourself. You understand? You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself every single day because the game is here right now to understand you must be greater. You must be greater than yourself. You must be encouraging. You must be a person who understands your body language. And the best way to understand that, I wrote a quote recently. I understand that you have to understand to speak better, although I wrote a quote recently that said Toastmasters people speak up to 30 minutes a day in terms of, I realized that Toastmasters people speak up to 1 month in 30-minute section. I mean, they speak 30 minutes in front of a crowd every single month. I speak 90 hours in front of people a month. It's a big difference. I realize that a big difference is you're never failing when you're speaking. I promise you, when you're speaking, you can never fail. You can never fail. I realize you start with one video with 1 minute, and then you just make 500 episodes with 1 minute, and then you start with 2 minutes, and then you realize that you can expand, and you start building your confidence in front of the camera. I promise you, you have to dive into it. You have to dive into public speaking through video content first. You have to write first. You start with writing. If you have no confidence, you start writing your material first. And then you realize then you can do a 1 minute video here and there. You can make 500 episodes with 1 minute videos. You put it together. You make 1 hour versions of 1 minute videos. And then you understand you can start doing 15-minute videos. And then 1 hour videos. And then 4 hour videos. And then 8 hour videos. You can always start doing more videos for yourself. I mean, you're doing it for something greater anyway. I realize that when you're compassionate and you're helping people, I promise you it's for the greater good. I promise you that's what you're working for every day. I promise you're working for the greater good every single day. They're doing something greater, you're always feeling greater. I'm never on the drugs because guess what? I've been there and guess what? It's never the way. I promise you the way is inside and never poisoning your temple, which is your body. I promise you when you have toxic poisons in you, I promise you it's going to make you irritated. It's going to make you jealous. I promise you it's going to make you egotistical. I promise you it's going to ruin you. I promise you the whole point of life is to be greater than yourself because guess what? Each and every single time I step up in front of the camera and I do it in front of an audience, I promise you I've learned something. I have a choice now to go to Darwin or stay here and do these videos. So I can do these videos in Darwin, although I learned something here very much in front of people because I'm building my confidence now. So I realized that I have to do this either way. I realized I have to do it in Darwin too. I realize I have time, I have nice beautiful progress here, I have a 1 bedroom, so I may as well use this time now to realize that no matter what, I can still go ahead and realize I can always give more and more and more of my heart, which is more of my wisdom. I realize it's more of the wisdom that you can never see, although you understand you can see wisdom, although that's what you need more. You understand you can see everything in life. I understand that when you cannot see, it's really that you can see, and it's really that you're lying to yourself. So you can see, I need you always to smile more, I need you to be greater than who you are. You feel greater, you have to do better, you have to do more, you have to encourage more, you have to be more of a blessing. You have to understand, you have to be something greater than yourself. I understand, it's about personal development today. I need you to understand it's about finance. I need you to learn finance, I need you to learn spirituality, I need you to dive into encouragement. I need you to understand to motivate people, I need you to understand to go and public speak today, I need you to understand to go lead somebody today and give them some love through information. I mean, to help them. As I understand, it's about business, and business is information. And if you're in the information business, you understand that you can public speak too. You can do everything. You can understand skills is everything when you have more information. promise you information is key. I promise you it's really gratitude. I promise you it's really that you understand that the more information you accumulate throughout time, the more information you have. I promise you that I've been reading for 6 years. I promise you my gratitude has grown and my happiness has grown through 6 years because I have more information daily. I promise you that's what it's about. I promise you it's about leadership. I promise you it's about encouragement. I promise you it's about making sure that you're free. I promise you it's about making sure that you can do something for yourself, for something greater, because you're worth it inside. I promise you. You have something inside of you right now, and you have peacefulness, you have serenity. I promise you, no matter what, you have serenity in you. I promise you, you have something that's really going to grow you. I promise you that you have to understand that you must grow yourself no matter what. You have to intentionally grow, as John C. Maxwell says. I need you to understand you have to be intentional with the growth. You have to fall into discomfort, because look, you can understand that people are looking at me. You understand that when people are looking at me, I get discomfortable, or else I'm not comfortable, although I'm growing in my growing. I'm growing through discomfort. I realize that my comfort zone is being in front of people now. I realize that no matter what, that is me growing. I realize I have to grow, I have to learn, I have to be more of a person in life in terms of divine nature. I realize that each and every single time I'm growing, I'm learning something much more about the crowd, and I'm learning about people more and more, because that's what it's about. I realize it's about leadership. I realize it's about growing. I realize it's about emotions. I realize it's about the heart. You need to have more of a heart today. As I'm saying, you have to give more. You have to speak more every single day, to live longer. You have to live longer. Thank you very much. I realize you have to live longer each and every single day. You have to do something that's really going to be positive. I have to understand that every single day you do something that's more encouraging. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth to acknowledge yourself every single day. And acknowledging yourself means respecting yourself and loving yourself. And loving yourself is key every single day. I promise you the key to your heart is to read more information. You have to read every single day. Thank you very much. Otherwise, we always have to smile at people. We have to understand there's always a way that you understand that there is a better way. I promise you there's a better way to live your life. You have to always make sure that you're in the information business today. You have to be in the information business today to understand something greater. I promise you you give some courses today, you're giving some information. You have to understand that information is business. I promise you those people who have business, have information, and have more of it. You have to understand, the greater your business, I promise you the greater your information. You have to learn, you have to learn, you have to learn. You have to learn more. To understand, it's really about learning and growing, although you have to do it. You have to do what you learn. I have to speak this for 3 hours every day, because that's what my business is. I have to give you some courses, because when I make many courses, realize my name is in those courses. Realize that my name is my face. Realize my name is my attitude. I have to better myself each and every single day. I have to make sure no matter what, I'm very quick in my heart. I realize I have to be quick all the time. You have to be quick. You have to be quick to grow. I have to be quick to grow, to make sure I prepare every single day to be 3 hours doing street performance in front of people, so I can grow in this comfort. I realize it's so much to do, although you understand that life is a journey, and guess what? You have to do so much to be so much. You have to understand, you have to do too much in life. You have to be too much. You have to be too much for other people, because you never do it for other people, you do it for something greater. You do it for something greater than people. You have to understand, you have to do too much, and you have to do more than you can do. You have to understand, you have to always push yourself and will yourself through emotions. You push your emotions. That's what you do. You push your emotions to grow. That's what it's about. I have to push my communication skills with my emotions. That's how you push through. You push through limiting beliefs with your emotions. You use your emotions to communicate. I'm using my emotions to grow. I have to push my emotions to speak. I have to push my emotions to talk with you. Because guess what? It's about having a conversation. You have to have a conversation all the time. You have to always be a person who's never offended. You have to understand that you're offended because your ego. You have to understand your ego may be offended. You have to understand that you have to be a person who understands you never, ever disrupt other people, although you understand you did. And guess what? You never do it again. You understand when you're a person who lifts other people, you're encouraging to never be in egos. And that way you understand, you'll be a person who understands that to get offended is to be in your ego. So never be in ego. You have to understand that when you're getting offended, it's because your ego is getting offended. I mean, you are not your ego. You have to understand, you are not your ego. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. Although you have to better your thoughts. You have to better your mind. You have to better everything. You have to understand that you have to better yourself through the heart. I mean, the heart wisdom is everything. Those people who have heart wisdom are the ones growing. I have to push my emotions every single day to grow. I have to push my emotions to speak. I have to understand that speaking is a way of living, and it's also how you dress, and it's also how you look, and it's also where you work in your habits. It's all communication skills. That you have to always learn to grow with your emotions. I have to push myself to grow. I have to push myself to rule myself. I I have to will myself with my emotions, and I have to Worship, it's I have a dream. And you should understand, you need a dream to envision yourself as a greater version, because that way you understand I love you. And she's saying, I have a dream. Because I have a dream to make sure that you guys grow. I realize that when you understand that even the Australian anthem can go and you should understand, I have a dream. I love you. You have to understand, I is everything. And those people who can even sing the I with the twinkle twinkle, like I promise you they increase their confidence. I promise you that now you see how to do it. You have to understand, you have to increase your I. You have to understand the I factor. You have to understand the I is everything. You have to increase the I capacity. You have to understand the I is everything. I promise you that Jesus said, never cut your eye out. I never need you to cut your eye, because it's never about this eye, or it's about this eye. It's really about I love you. Understand the I. Understand when Jesus said, never cut your eye out, realize I love you. I need you to have the I there. I need you to understand that I love you. You never cut the I in I love you. Understand, you have to and you should understand, I love you, because I increases your confidence. I promise you, you need more I in your life. And you should understand, I is everything. You need to increase it, because that's how you gain serenity. And you should understand that it's the only way. Because you need to grow, you need to always speak your I, because when you're always conditional in the way that you speak your I promise you have to speak it more. Understand? I. That's worth it, because that sinks the I love I term. Because I love I is everything. I love I. And that's what you need to have more serenity. So make sure you be that type of person today, because each and every single time you sing I have a dream. I have a dream, because I will grow. I will go and make sure, no matter what, I love I. And that way I understand that each and every single time you grow, you do something with your I. And you should understand you're always increasing your confidence. And you should understand I love you. I love I. I love everything, because I is everything. I said I. And you should understand that I is everything. I said that Jesus said, never cut your eye out. And you should understand I have a dream. I need you to never cut it out. You should use your I more. I love you. I do this. I love I am here. I'm now. And you should understand that is the best way to live. I promise you, the best way to live is with your wisdom, which is I. I is everything. You use you in action. You use the I theory, which is you apply it every single day. You use it in the video. I realized when I use my I here, I realized I just applied it. I realized that the I factor is to be used more. So be a person who's that type of nature, and you understand that no matter what my video here is done, although I have another hour, and when I have the one rule, I have 1 hour to do more videos. I stick to the 1 hour rule. I stick to the one rule, which is I do everything one step. I do 1 hour videos. I do 1 hour seminars. I realize I can do 1 hour many seminars. I can do 1 hour each topic. I realize that each topic can be 1 hour. I realize that I can do 1,000 videos, 1 hour each, in 1,000 in one topics. I realize that every single number is a one in life. I promise you that every single number you ever need is I realize that every single number you ever need is just one. I promise you multiplication and calculations is one. I promise you everything is number one. I promise you look at $1 million. I promise you to achieve it, you just simplify it into one. I promise you that's the best way to achieve it. You have to be in number one in life. You have to do something greater. You have to feel greater. You have to be a person of high interest. You have to understand there's always a greater way. You can always be a better way. You can always do something greater than what you're doing. You can always be better. You can always be better than that. You can always do something. You can always do something better. You can always do something much greater. You have to be greater. You have to motivate. You have to understand there's always something to do that you can understand there is always better in you. You have to understand. You always do that, and that way you understand that you guys can find me in the next video. Although I'm here for another hour to boost my confidence. I'll see you guys in the next video.